You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
This podcast is presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who have been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com, and then definitely follow them on Instagram for all the information that you need, because I'm sure that's where you follow us as well, at oklahomahof. Let's get into today's episode.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode up in Guthrie, America today with the awesome Tracy Zserdin. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm. You did. Good job.
Good. I'm glad. That's what we were just talking about. That one, getting names wrong. But yeah, I mean, I've just done a great podcast with you, which, with the awesome things that you do with Made Possible by... and that's not the only thing that you do. I'm sure we'll dive into some stuff. But for everybody listening, I guess, what do you do?
Yeah, Made Possible by is an Oklahoma startup. I don't know if you say graduated from the Oklahoma City Thunder Launchpad with Stitch Crew.
I didn't know that. With Erica and Chris.
Yeah, we're just part of Batch 5, so that was really exciting to get to do that.
Congrats.
It's interesting to do an accelerator during COVID. It was, which everything is interesting during COVID, yeah. But Made Possible by, we just help community-minded businesses save time with their sponsorship requests.
Yeah.
And then we share their stories of good. Because very often businesses don't want to come across as braggadocious. They don't want to brag about what they do. But consumers want to know what companies are doing good in the world. It's important. It's important for them to know that for branding and to be able to do more good by making more profits. So we share their stories for them, and we save them time on the front end.
That's really cool. I didn't know that you guys did the Stitch Crew thing with the Thunder Launchpad. So how great experience. Is it 8 weeks?
I believe so. It might have been 12.
Okay.
I'm bad at that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Stitch Crew, they're awesome.
Learned a lot of things.
They're really fun.
Yeah, I've had Erica. Erica was on the podcast early on, and then Erica and Chris have been on since then as well.
Chris
they do great things.
He's in hoot.
Oh yeah, and just seeing the people who've come out and who've gone through, right? They've all kind of worked hard, and I think Ride OKC was one of the guys who've been through it as well, and just there's a lot of cool people in that group that have come through, and it's great to see what they're doing for the state and everyone else. Sometimes some of them have world impact. So
absolutely, I feel privileged to rub shoulders with them.
So we're in Guthrie today. I love coming up here. It's awesome. I always forget how far it is, but when I get here, I'm like, that's totally worth the drive. Well, I'm from Yukon, so it was further than it for me. Yeah. But you're right. It's not that far. Why Guthrie?
We're from Colorado originally. I'm from Boulder, and long story short, but we came here for a football game back in the day in 95, and we stayed with some friends and ended up meeting some of our friends' friends, and this man offered my husband Mike a job. And we left, and I was kicking and screaming. I'm like, what? You want me to leave Boulder and move to Oklahoma? Are you serious?
Beautiful mountains. Are you serious?
I'm a Boulder girl, born and raised. I was raised right at the base of the Flatirons, just totally spoiled. But we moved here in 96, and I love it. I love the people here. There's no, like you said, there's people here just welcoming. I still say Colorado's home, but we go back home quite often. My husband's family is still there. And I wave at people like when I'm on my bike or walking or talk to them, and they look at you like you're crazy. Why are you talking to me? But here, that's completely normal
here, especially in a small town. A smaller town.
Our first week here, we went to the grocery store, and this young man was bagging our groceries, and he picks them up to carry them out, and my husband Mike grabs his arm and says, "Those are our groceries." He says, I know, sir, I'm taking them out to your car for you. But Mike grew up in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Completely different world, you know, Detroit area. So it was totally different. But anyhow, we first moved to Oklahoma City and we came up for an 89ers Day Parade.
Okay.
And I remember standing on the street looking at these red bricks, looking at the architecture and the small town feel, and I absolutely fell in love with Guthrie. Yeah. It took us a while to get up here, but I love it.
All the history and everything.
Oh, I love history. I love context. To me, it just feels like, I don't know what that feels like a blanket, or it's comforting to me to be a part of that. And there's so much history in Guthrie, and the people are just cool. We say Guthrie's like the Austin of Oklahoma.
Yeah, it is.
There's just, you got music, you've got art, the movie scene is bursting in Guthrie.
We have that currently. Who's shooting a movie here right now?
Dennis Quaid is here right now shooting Reagan. So which
is crazy.
I know, it's so cool.
Like when people come and they shoot movies, like, oh, it's a little movie. Reagan's probably gonna be a pretty big movie.
Yeah, and that's probably not even the biggest one that's gonna come in the next year. So there's some cool things that are it's just exciting to be a part of that.
So when you got here and you came, I mean, obviously your husband got a job here. What were you doing at that time?
Yeah, I was in the fitness industry. So I'm pretty flexible. I can go wherever and do my thing. So
like specific kind of classes, or like
I did everything.
Okay.
I did everything. Yoga was my favorite. Kickboxing too. I loved kickboxing back in the day.
Yeah.
Get some aggression out.
Yeah, it's a good way to get some aggression out. It's funny you said that. Rachel Cannon, the actress, got into kickboxing. I remember her telling me about that.
Yeah,
she's like, that's how I stayed in shape when I was acting, was kickboxing.
Yeah, there's just something about that I know. So
and getting the aggression out.
And getting the aggression out. There's something. Yeah, but I loved being in the fitness industry. I did it for a long time, and it was great.
Yeah. So you and Mike move here, and then this becomes the home base, and then I guess you guys have kids, and he's working, and you're doing fitness industry stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm not. It's so funny. We met Hetty when we first. I think my husband knew Hetty.
Yeah,
everybody knows Hetty.
Everyone knows Hetty.
Everyone knows Hetty. But Hetty had actually, when we moved here, became the president of the Guthrie Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
Had taken that role, and he was looking for someone to be his assistant. And we actually just ran into each other at Hoboken Coffee, and he asked me if I would consider doing that, and I did. And then I think it was probably 6 months later, he said, Trace, would you consider taking over as the president? I need to leave. And he wasn't even in that position for very long. So it was one of those completely opposite of what I ever envisioned myself doing.
Yeah.
But it was a challenge. And I think when you're presented with something like that, you really have to consider it. And it stretched me. But it was great. I love people. I love connecting to people. Like I said, I love context. I love history. So this was a perfect place.
Well, I'm sure coming into a role where you don't have much experience in that role, and also you're not from here originally, you see it from a totally different perspective, which is probably a great new, fresh set of eyes that can really help do some things here.
There's good in that, and then there's also bad in that, and that you know nothing. You know? And so it was, thankfully people here are very gracious. Knew I had a big learning curve and understanding how things have been done in the past, but that doesn't always mean that's how you have to continue to do them. So, but it was great. I did that for about 4 years.
Oh, okay. So you did quite a while then.
Well, it wasn't super long, but chambering is, I say that I'm a highly functional introvert.
Okay.
And so chambering world, you're out, you're talking to people, and it takes a toll.
Yeah.
I had to schedule some time in my week to work remotely so I could gear up. In Guthrie, we have a meeting every Wednesday where we have 100 people that come together and network, which is fantastic.
Really?
Well, that was pre-COVID.
Sure, but
so that's shifted a bit.
That's not normal in other chambers, right? Or is it?
I mean, that's pretty big size.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the 60s was probably our lowest number ever during my time, but. So I had to fill up my emotional tank, to be able to go out and love people and listen to people, and that's really what chambering is, just caring about them and helping them succeed. So, but I really enjoyed my time doing that.
Right.
But it definitely immersed me in Guthrie to the extent that I love this place.
Yeah. So you moved to Oklahoma City first, and then you moved up to here.
Yes.
As I assume you were living here when you did the chamber stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, which helps.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And great of Hetty to throw you in the deep end and say, hey,
threw me in the deep end.
I'm doing something new, which is totally a Hetty thing to do. Just find something new to do and then go and yeah. So a great experience, got to meet some awesome people. And I mean, people who, this seems like a town that not many people leave, right? They come in, their families, this generational business, and if they leave, they probably don't, they leave the state. They don't just go to a different city.
I'm surprised at the number of people, one, that not only stay, but two, they leave, but they come back.
Yeah.
There's something about, and I say this all the time, I did in the chambering world, there's something about Guthrie. We have a harmony, we care about each other.
Yeah.
We have a saying, we say Team Guthrie. There's not different factions. We work together for, I mean, there's always some issues that nobody ever agrees about everything. But the ultimate goal is for Guthrie to succeed and to grow. And if you look around, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's really happening.
Yeah, it's awesome. What would have been one of the biggest events that you did then when you're 4 years here? I guess biggest kind of something you look back on, you're like, I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I love being a part of Red Brick Nights. That was a really cool event. I look forward to next year us being able to do those big events.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so many things. The chamber does a lot in just connecting. I love helping people who have a dream of starting a business, whatever that business is, and just to help them, whether it's opening up a shop or, I don't know, there's lots of people that open up things around here.
Yeah.
But it was fun for me here to be a part of the movie scene, and I think it was really starting to pop.
Yeah.
So it was fun to be able to do that, because that, you don't realize how much it's an industry. I mean, Oklahoma's really starting to see some gearing up with that. Tava and Yusuf at the Oklahoma Film Music do an amazing job. But we had one production came in, I think it was my first Christmas, so it was my first year. They were doing a Christmas movie, and they went into one of our antique shops and bought all sorts of stuff, and that was their biggest day ever at that shop.
Yeah.
And it was a huge thing, just the impact, but just they go to the coffee shops, they go out to dinner, they go to the grocery store. I mean, it does a big impact for our economy. Right. But then the National Little Britches Rodeo, 2 months in, their biggest event, from people from around the country, Canada, South America, all end up at the Lazy E and doing rodeo stuff, which I had never been a part of the rodeo world before, so it was a fun thing.
Get you some boots and a hat and you're set.
Gosh, I laugh. We had this opening ceremony. We're out in the arena in the dirt, and I'm in my flip-flops. Because I'm not a country girl. I grew up in the city. That wasn't my thing. And somebody walks up and says, hey, hold this horse. So I'm holding this horse and standing in the arena with my flip-flops. I'm like, I don't fit in here. Sorry. I really am a Guthrie person. So I do have cowboy boots now, because my son got into that world. So yeah.
Has Raymond made you some yet? Or Bo?
He hasn't made, but Ray is making me a backpack.
Oh, great.
So excited.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah, Ray Dorwart, world famous boot maker, literally world famous for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's made boots for everybody. But he has like a 2-year waiting list.
And you can't find him on any social media platform either. It's very hard to find.
He's on Facebook now.
Oh, he is. Okay, good.
It's a big thing. I know. Yeah, my son helps them out there sometimes, just doing the little tedious work. So
And you mentioned you have 2 sons, right?
I do.
One who's really into the cowboy stuff.
Yes, I have a cowboy as a result of living in Guthrie and being at Lazy E. That he started, like I said, we're city people, and he went to that Lazy E event because I made him as a volunteer. I said, if I'm going to be there, you're coming. Yeah. And he left saying, I want to ride bulls.
And you're like, great, what have I done?
Absolutely. So, and he did. So there you go.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have Eric, our mutual friend, has been helping out and taking photos of your son riding horses and doing cowboy stuff that I think that's. I apologize if I'm not saying it right, but it is cowboy stuff.
It is.
And it just looks so cool.
They call it day punching.
Okay.
I
don't know. Yeah, riding horses.
Cowboying. You know, they have all these terms.
Doing hard work, basically.
Oh, it is hard work. I mean, it is. Yeah. He's always filthy. He has one chair in my house that he's allowed to come in from outside. He trains like 20 horses right now.
Yeah.
So you can only sit in that chair because his pants he's filthy all the time. I'm like, sorry, bud.
That's your chair now. Yeah.
Unless you want to go change, which feel free.
So, so you do the chamber thing. And then is it like I have done my 4 years, I'm done, like you want to move on to something else, or was there an opportunity that came up that made you decide to move?
Yeah, my husband had started Made Possible by during that time, and he was doing a day job as well, because during a startup you still have to pay the bills.
Oh yeah.
So, but he started just asking me, would you consider coming on and doing this? And we had one other business partner at the time, and then actually Hetty Coleman joined us as one of our team members as well. And they both just said, Trace, we think that you need to start doing this. So it's always nice to be your own boss, which is great.
Oh yeah.
Which is great, as you know. I did enjoy chambering, but I think it was a great transition for me, and just being in that culture, being in the professional world, because fitness industry, I'm sweaty, I'm stinky, I'm yelling at people, and not yelling, but let's go, so it's just kind of a different world. So that was a good transition for me into my role at Made Possible. So,
do you miss the fitness world?
Sometimes I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I exercise on my own, but there's nothing like, it's funny, I've gone to classes before, and I feel the beat. I feel what she's going to do next, or he's going to do next, and I find myself pointing, all right, we're going this direction. All right, I just
and they probably have no idea that you did fitness.
What is that person?
Who is she? Yeah.
What is she doing? So, but I'd like to go back maybe at some point. I don't know. We'll see.
Did you have like the kind of full Britney Spears style microphone over the ear?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you just yell.
Scream at people, literally scream at people. Yeah, I guess there's so many things that have kind of come up, like different kind of fads now, right? That's like this CrossFit and kind of cycle bar stuff, the spin classes, which it's always kind of been around, but I guess it's coming back around now. I have a friend of mine who's a spin class instructor, and she's like, "Hey, I'll just come to one of my classes. It's free. Just do it." It's like, that was miserable. Yeah. I mean, it was intense. I had a great time, but after it, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I've done it now. I'm out.
I never was a fan of spin. I don't know what it is about spin. I don't know if they probably don't do this anymore, but they turn off the lights and they have disco balls and all sorts of
I think they still, they
and it's fun. Everybody gets into it. I never got into spin. I don't know. I think I want to be moving while I'm doing something.
More of just like kickboxing stuff, obviously.
I need movement. My favorite right now is paddleboarding, and so I'm out doing. I like being outside. So if I'm on a bike, I want to be outside.
Yeah.
I'm a Colorado girl.
Of course, that's where that comes from. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so,
and Guthrie has an awesome lake where you can paddle around.
Oh my gosh,
right?
There's 2 lakes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've only been to the one that's south of town.
Yeah, well, they're both actually south.
There you go. That shows you how much I know.
That's okay.
I interviewed Matt Hanging. Do you know Matt?
I don't.
CEO of Water4, the company Water4.
Yeah.
Matt lives right by the lake.
Oh, he does.
And he's big into his fitness and triathlon stuff. So if you see someone swimming in the lake that's a bald-headed guy with a red beard, that's Matt.
Okay. There you go.
He lives just off this is going to sound cliche too, just off a gravel road right by the lake. In Guthrie.
You've got some gravel roads.
Yeah. I was telling someone the other day, like my first kind of Guthrie experience was when Mumford & Sons came to town. I was in college and we came up and someone asked me about it, so I put it in our This Is Oklahoma weekly email last week. And basically what happened was I was driving through town and a house was flying 2 massive Union Jack flags off the front porch, and it was a 2-day event. So we saw it the first day, and then driving in the second day, and I was told the person who was driving, I was like, pull over, I'm gonna go and
have to talk to these people.
And it was Dan and Joy Newton.
Oh, you met the Newton.
And I'd never met him before. I had no idea who it was. Right? Ashley was on the front porch at the time. I had no idea who it was. Kids were there, and I was like, I can't remember what year it was, but it was a long time ago. And I walked up, knocked on the front door, and Joy's like, hi. I was like, and then Joy was like, come on in. Like,
oh yeah, they're just.
I'm like in their house, like, and there's like 8 people looking at me, like, what do you want? Like, can I buy one of your flags? She's like, no, but you can take one. I was like, I'll bring it back. Like, thank you so much. And saw Dan and Ashley and everybody, and went to the event, and we got there super early so we could be like as close to the front as possible.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, I kind of like somebody knows. Ashley was a photographer. Ashley had taken photos for a really good friend of mine's parents, and they saw the connection. And basically, someone had taken a photo of me with the flag at the event and posted it like in the Guthrie newspaper. And then great. Joy, they sent me down and sent me a picture, and I was just like, that's so cool. I'm like we talk. I don't see him very often, but I message them and we stay in touch, and that was my first Guthrie experience. And that's after the event, I took the flag back. And the look on their face, they didn't think I was going to return it at all. And they were like, oh, like it was like 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. whatever. It was late at the night after the event, and they were like, oh, thank you. I had no idea you were going to bring it back. So
thanks for doing
and then we also kind of stayed in touch from them. But it was awesome. That was a really cool experience to get that flag, and it comes up in my like time hop on it's on. Oh yeah, it's like this was 7 years ago. Like whoa.
So we moved to Guthrie the week before that happened, and we lived in a downtown loft when we first lived here. We're like, let's do something totally different, something that we've never ever done. So we just rented a loft. We had no idea Mumford was happening.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the streets are closed off. It's complete chaos.
Yeah.
One of the downtown stage was literally in front of our place.
Oh,
I mean, we were
awesome.
right
Because they were
there.
playing downtown too, right? They were like kind of
3 a.m. Like our walls are rattling.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
And they're so good.
It was. But I met the leads. I can't think of his lead, Mumford and Son's first name. Oh, that's bad. I should remember him. But I met him because my dog attacked his golf cart. He was going over to Ray Dorwart's. He was in the boot shop. And I was walking my dog, and my dog had a thing about golf carts.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but that was such a fun.
That was such a good time.
Oh, my gosh. That was.
I went to that event. I went to both days, but I wish we didn't have to drive back to town. Back to Oklahoma City. Because, to stay up here the whole weekend. Camp out, do whatever. Like it was boiling hot that week. It was so hot. People passing out, and I think the fire trucks were like spraying people with water. It was amazing.
It kind of Woodstock feel too.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. And there's so many bands there, and I remember the last night. Obviously, they came on late, and the sun setting, and it's just the best. It was so good.
It was. Jake was little at that time, and he was homeschooling. And we totally broke the rules. Now as a chambering person, I'm like, oh, we didn't know what we were doing. He sat out front and sold bottled water for $1.
Yeah.
And everybody else is selling him for like $5.
Oh yeah, he's making.
I have a picture of him doing math in his workbook, selling water during Mumford and Sons. And then we didn't buy tickets because we had no idea what was going on. Yeah. But we went down there and got 3 people, let us in.
Come on in.
And Jake weaseled his way to the very front the last night in Mumford. So it was fun.
That was a really good memory. It's just and they're so good live.
Oh, no.
They record their album live, so they're exactly like they are. And even the bands they brought in.
Alabama Shakes.
Yes, I listened to them before for a little bit, and if you've never heard them or never seen them play, you think it's a man singing.
You do.
And then you see her on stage playing her guitar, and you're like that voice.
Yes.
Oh, she was awesome.
Amazing.
And then Haim were really good. 3 sisters that played.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then there was another UK band called Bear's Den. Those are like the main ones I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many people out there that just
it was chaos.
Yeah.
It was
we need to have something like that again.
Oh, we would love to do that.
Yeah, because we got the land for it. It was perfect setup.
Absolutely.
They came in, they figured things out.
Mm-hmm.
It's middle of the country. It's easy to get here.
Yeah, so if anybody's listening, Guthrie is totally ready for you to come. We're right in the middle of America. We bring people from all over the country.
Amazing, wouldn't it?
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, being here for so long now, this is, obviously Colorado's home, but this is home too. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that my mum hates me saying is like, Oklahoma City's home to me. And she's like, no, Wales is home. I'm like, well, I have a house now. Home is, I have an actual home. Yes. What you're doing the Made Possible by stuff, but I'm sure that's not the only thing that you're doing, right? You're probably still involved with the community and doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I love to help out with
Yeah.
whatever I can. I mean, anybody needs help.
Yeah.
We have added a 2-year-old to our world, so that's changed a lot as far as my
Time.
freedom.
Yeah.
Yes, so that takes a lot of
That'd be exciting, though.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah.
It is very exciting. We feel like we won the lottery.
Yeah.
And having this new little person in our world.
Well, and also, like, 2 is much better than 2 months old.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It is a little bit easier. Yeah.
Running around.
Yes. Oh, he's definitely running around.
Yeah.
He's all boy, so.
That's
He
awesome.
loves trucks.
He loves trucks.
Wheels. He thinks
Yeah.
wheels is good.
Does he have the cowboy influence yet?
You know, Jake.
Jake's going to be,
Oh my God.
Uncle Jake is going to be doing all
he
this.
calls him UJ.
Yeah.
UJ. So Jake wants him to ride bulls, and I've already put the kibosh on that. So
Yeah.
we've had enough bull riders in our world. I think we're good with that.
Yeah.
But like I said, Jake's training mini horses right now, so there's just horses around. So he's in that environment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see what he gravitates towards.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to have that, I guess, Guthrie influence and just kind of grow up around that and know everyone in the town. Because that's the good thing about this place, is you know everybody.
Absolutely.
Don't you? Mm-hmm. So what, as far as like the Made Possible by stuff, what, you're obviously deep in that stuff. That's your main role. It's what you do. What's the day-to-day like? And I know a little bit about the story, and I know you briefed us earlier, but we can dive really into the impact that it has and helping out companies, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it started, like I said, with my husband. He's always been an entrepreneur. It's always interesting to be married to an entrepreneur. You just never know what tomorrow's going to be like.
One of us has to have a stable job.
Exactly. One of us needs to pay some bills. But you're way too young to know the show Night Shift. But
I am, yeah.
Yes, you're way too young for that. But it's oh my gosh, I just forgot who's in there. Oh, I just blanked his name. Michael Keaton. And he has an idea to feed tuna mayonnaise.
Okay.
To feed the fish mayonnaise. So, it's the tuna's made.
Yeah.
So I just always joke with Mike when he has some new idea. I'm like, are we feeding the fish mayonnaise? But you just learn to roll with it.
Yeah.
So, but he was actually doing something a little bit different at the time, helping this food truck that was actually feeding kids in Oklahoma City for free. It was a cool thing. And he got to talking to Tracy at Plenty Mercantile.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Tracy
and
Brittany, awesome. I love their heart for their community.
Yeah.
But she was talking about how much time it takes to process their sponsorship, donor requests. People come in, phone calls, emails, constantly, which is great.
Yeah, it is great.
And they want to give. They want to do that. But it was taking so much time away from her business. And my husband's brain got rolling, and he's like, why don't we create something? Because there's forms that you can use out there that you can do. But we combine it with actually sharing their stories. So people put our logo on their website with a redirect link. So when they get a request, they say, thanks so much for thinking of us. We'd love to hear more.
Yeah.
Go to our website, click that link. That'll take you to our community impact page. And that's what makes Made Possible so unique, is we have a permanent location that shares all their stories of good.
Yeah.
It has their giving guidelines. So if they want to say, we're going to give to education, we're going to give to homelessness, whatever, because you can't give to everything. You can't. You have to have some parameters.
Right.
So it shows right there. So when somebody goes to ask for, say they want something for the Humane Society, but those core values don't line up, they can go look at a different business and find it. But if they think they're a good fit, they just click the application link, fills everything out. It gives all the information that the business would need to know, when they need it by, what they're asking for, are they a 501c3, what kind of ROI are they going to receive, are you going to do social media for them, everything that they could need. And then the business can go back and look at those applications in their own time. They don't have to stop on the shop floor and listen to the story, which is not that they don't want to.
No, it's just time.
Can't.
You got to run a business.
Exactly. You can't. Or they don't have to go search through other emails. Oh, I know I got a request from somebody. I can't remember who it was. I know I saw it, and then you can't find it in your email. Or what we hear the most are the sticky notes. Somebody, an employee will just go, this person wants you to call and stick it on a sticky note, put it on their desk. Well, then it gets lost. Something gets set on it. You know, so they have every request that they've ever received is in one location. They can go through it in their own time. And at the end of the year, they can clearly see what they've done.
Yeah.
And I love to use the example of Rick's Fine Chocolates and Coffees here in Guthrie, because one, they're in Guthrie.
Yeah, and they're amazing.
Oh, they're amazing. I know. Stacy, I say she's my very own Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Because she makes amazing things. But Stacy, last year she's been using our platform for a couple years, and we were looking at her report. She had 141 asks in 1 year.
Wow.
For a small town, small business, that's
a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And she was able to give to 68.
Amazing.
But people in the community wouldn't have any idea if they didn't have her community impact page.
Yeah.
But they can go look at her page. They can see everything that she gave to. And every one of those stories that she was able to give to is a shareable link.
Yeah.
And it never goes away. So she doesn't have to rewrite the story. You know, say it's an event that she gives to every year, you know, a month, 2 months in advance, she can share that story. Can't wait for this event to come. So we're saving them time on that as well.
Yeah.
If they want to share it themselves, which they need to some degree, but we do it for them too, because we just love to make it loud.
That's the thing. It's like, and in Oklahoma especially, like we don't really like what we mentioned, we don't like to shout about our accomplishments. We don't like to shout about giving back to people. Even though we're such a giving kind of culture, I do think the more that we talk about it, the more that it will just become the norm to other people to give back. And you know, it is great to give back on every level, but when someone consistently sees, you know, you're giving to this person and you know, then it becomes a lot more than just the business, doesn't it? It's like, I'm going to shop here because these guys always give back to not just the one charity, but to a lot of other charities, right?
Absolutely. So we hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And there's statistics that hold that up too. But not only do people want to shop there, people want to work there.
Yeah.
They want their entire career to matter, to be a part of something.
Yeah.
And that it brings in employee engagement. We were talking pre-COVID to Lieutenant Governor about aggregating all of that data and positioning Oklahoma as the most community involved state in the union.
Oh yeah.
And having each community, like Guthrie already has one, a Guthrie America page, where we put all the businesses that are doing good sharing their stories.
Yeah.
So we would love to see pages for every community or every bankers association or whatever, that we can aggregate that data, that we could show that we are making a huge impact.
Yeah.
Especially now in COVID, people need to hear great stories.
Oh, they have to.
I mean, we need it. And even though people aren't able to give back as much as they have in the past necessarily right now, we have. And that's something that we can hold on to and say, better days are coming.
Yeah.
You know, remember this. Or it may look different now. It may look like volunteering time, which is completely great. I mean, we got to get out of the box of what giving looks like.
Yeah. So how many businesses roughly do you have on the kind of in the I guess the website right now?
You know, that's a good question. I'd probably say we're still startup. We're still growing. I think we've got about 40.
That's a lot.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. Now, not everybody is on the paying us
of
side.
Course.
We have friends that get the free deal, but you know, we're here. We're ready to grow. We're ready to help people.
Yeah, that's so cool. And any business can sign up for it, right?
Absolutely. We're just made possible by .us. The link is right there online, or you can reach out to me. I'm just Tracy at madepossibleby.us. We'd love to tell you more about it. And mostly small to mid-sized businesses are more of our market. The larger companies are able to pay somebody to do that kind of thing for them, but small companies there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that they can.
Yeah, it's that's where the value is to them, isn't it? It's the fact that they have so many requests, but they're running their own business. They have people asking for them, pulling them in all directions. They're doing their own marketing. They're doing their own all this inventory stuff. Like and then it's, will you give to this, and this? And there's only so many minutes and hours in the day, and sadly we do forget things, don't we?
We do. And then what's the typical ROI on that? You get your logo on a poster that's going to get thrown away.
Right.
Or you get mentioned on social media, which is great,
Yeah.
but that eventually gets lost in the stream, right?
Yeah.
So, but their community impact page never leaves. It's always there. They can always show it.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a business in town, John Vance Auto Group. They've been with us from the beginning. Megan is wonderful up there. Somebody asked them to sponsor something and it wasn't within their parameters, and they said, I'm sorry, that's not something that we normally do. And they had some pushback on it. They're like, well, you don't do anything in the community. And she's like, well, go to our community impact page and you can see our full impact of what we do, because we do a lot.
Yes, that's the sad thing, isn't it, about social media, and like it's the keyboard warrior syndrome, isn't it? It's like, oh, you know, and also now it's like, oh, well, if you don't see something the way that I see it, then you're entirely wrong, and you're a terrible person. Well, no, it's not the case. And having that link carries so much weight, because if you didn't have that link, you would have to spend more time digging up all the cool things that you've done in the past.
Ain't nobody got time.
No, and especially like for most people who are getting grief from somebody, the last thing they want to do is waste more money giving more grief to this person and then wasting time. But if they can send them a link and says, actually, we've been doing this for a long time, and these are all the people that we help out because this is what our values align with. If you fit in one of these, great, we'd love to help. But you don't right now. So
and that's okay. And they can find somebody else that does. You know, it saves them time too. You know, we've had people who are looking for somebody to sponsor an event, and they go there and they look at the different companies and see what they do and see what they support. So it can help on that end too. Yeah,
it's super cool. I'll for everyone listening, I'll put the links down to everything down below, and you can go to that. And also, we just recorded a podcast for your podcast.
We did. This is different for me. I'm on
I
the
know
other end of the mic.
it is different, isn't it? Yeah. What is the podcast called?
We are Conversations Around Good. We do, those go out every Friday. And then we have a webinar that goes out once a month called Good Table Talk.
Great.
Where we share more stories.
Yeah.
People that are doing cool things in the world.
Awesome. So bringing it kind of back to where we are, obviously we're in Guthrie and there's so many cool things to do here.
Yeah.
But what are your favorite things to do around town? From a local's perspective rather than a visitor's perspective. Because obviously the locals, all the best places to go and the best times to go.
I love the drive-in.
Yeah?
I love the drive-in. It's so funny because there's not that many.
There's not.
There's really
There'll
not.
probably be more coming up because of COVID.
Yeah,
but
you're true. That's
what a great
true.
business to be in right now.
Gosh, it is a great business, yes. But our drive-in is clean.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. And when we very first moved here, I don't know what happened to this guy. I've never seen him since. But what happens at our drive-in is people show up an hour and a half before, bring their dinner, and kind of tailgate a little bit. So you walk around and hang and chat with people, and it's kind of a community party.
Yeah.
But there was a guy who would walk around with bagpipes.
Really?
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It was like, who is this person? But the kids would just follow him. It was like the Pied Piper. It was hilarious. I know. They used to have a playground in front of the screen too, and the kids would play on that. I think it got too old. But I love to go to the drive-in, especially this year. They're playing old movies. They just did Footloose last weekend.
Oh, it's a classic, which I didn't know that started from a town in Oklahoma.
I didn't know that either.
Apparently which I'm sure we can Google and find out the exact town.
Yeah.
But it started because of a town in Oklahoma.
Interesting.
And no dancing, which I mean, I can't remember where. I'm gonna have to find out where, because that's gonna bug me. But somebody told me that the other day, and I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense first, but also, what town was it? But yeah, great movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
The new one isn't that good.
Well, I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't. You wouldn't want to watch it. It's not a good movie. I mean, it is a good movie, but it's the remakes are never really that good, are they?
To do that, yes. But in October, I think it's the 10th. It's the second week in October. We're able to do one Red Brick Night this year.
Okay.
And they're going to do it at the drive-in. Prairie Wolf Distillery is a company here in Guthrie, which we are so thrilled to have Jonathan Stranger and Andrew and his crew here. They're just amazing humans. But they are sponsoring this event. So it's going to have live music. There's classic cars.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
But they're also showing Grease. So
there you go. That's going to be even better.
Classic drive-in movie. So, I know. But Guthrie things, gosh, I love any of the events. If you could come up for the Guthrie events, the bluegrass, Red Brick Nights, Territory Christmas, even Halloween. And
Yeah.
granted, this year, none of these things are happening. Halloween's happening because you can't really stop Halloween.
Of course, never. Actually, there is somebody in my neighborhood that has their Halloween stuff out already.
I'm telling you, they're almost as crazy about it as Christmas.
I'm against a lot of that stuff.
I want to enjoy today.
It's not even in the month as we record this. I'm like, come on.
There you go. I know.
Yeah.
But we shut down downtown, and the shops give out candy, and it's thousands of people. North Church is a whole kids area with inflatables.
Yeah.
But you got to come for Territory Christmas, for Red Brick Nights. If you haven't come up to Guthrie, people always say it's so far away. It's 20
It's really
minutes.
not.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's straight up I-35.
Yeah.
There's great shopping here. We have great boutiques. You can drop by and see Ray at the boot shop. There's always something new.
Get some chocolate from Rick's.
Oh my gosh. Go get some chocolate at Rick's. You will thank me later.
Is it, when I interviewed with Hetty, he said the donut place?
Oh,
Missy's Donuts. Is there any others that really stand out?
Donut places?
No, I mean just little treat food places or anywhere that you've got to kind of...
Like candy or just food?
Anything. Yeah, people are coming up, where should they hit before?
Yes. Oh my gosh, see, I'm not a part of the chamber anymore. I can zero in on some things. We talked about Dominion House.
Yeah.
The 602 Bistro, they have the absolute best burgers and hamburgers. I love it. And then I love Colorado Grill. I love sitting outside, so they have the outside.
Great patio.
Stacy's Place on Harrison, she has fried green tomatoes that she puts on BLTs.
Okay.
That are phenomenal.
Okay.
And she makes homemade ranch dressing that is like a food group in of itself.
All right.
It is so good. It is so good. Gage's, we're right. It's in the old, Gage's Steakhouse is in the old train station. Mm-hmm. So the trains come by. Sometimes the trains stop, come in, get dinner. It's super cool.
Yeah.
They have great food. They have a great chocolate dessert that I love. Stables Barbecue. I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody, and my apologies. I'm not intentional.
Those are good though. Those are good for people that come up here, that even if they're just coming up for just passing by.
Oh, people do all
or
the
coming
time.
up at staycation or
All
whatever.
the time,
Like
yes.
that's
Do go to Missy's Donuts. You want Missy's Donuts.
Great
It's
information,
so good.
yeah.
She has 2 locations. So.
I'm gonna have to grab some on the way out for sure. My wife would eat all of them.
I'm telling you, she has this bread. It's lemon blueberry bread. It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
I'm gonna have to grab some
having
of
a hard
that.
time in life, I call it the bread of bereavement.
Okay.
I bring it to anybody who's having a hard time.
There you go.
It's so good.
Awesome.
Or just come up for a football game, because we have a really super stadium. I don't know if you've ever been in there.
I have not.
The Rock. It's notorious.
Okay.
Not notorious. Famous.
Yeah.
It's not notorious. But the baseball field and the football field are connected.
Okay.
And it's just a cool. I can't tell you how many movie people I brought through the stadium, because it's really cool.
Because they love it.
But it's a small town field that you can come and just, whether you cheer for the Blue Jays or not, you can come and just enjoy that feel.
That's awesome.
Of a Friday night.
Friday Night Lights,
I'm
and
telling you, small town.
it is a religion, isn't it?
It is.
It's sort of got to be done.
Well, homecoming here blows my mind. Homecoming. They come back every year, and every year of a class has a float every year.
Really?
Oh my gosh! Even if they're just loaded up on a truck bed,
but they're coming back.
They come back every year.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Guthrie, America, the best place to be.
There you go. I'm telling you.
Best
Come
place
on.
to be. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Tracy, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you, first of all, having me on your podcast earlier, which I'm excited to hear that. I don't listen to a lot of the interviews I've been on, but I am going to listen to that one, because we had a good chat for sure.
We did.
And then obviously continue to do great things with Made Possible by, for everyone listening, I'll put that down below in the link, and then come up. Go to get coffee, get chocolate, get donuts.
Go by Hoboken.
Go by Hoboken. Yeah, just so many places. Go to get a burger as well from Dominion House, and pizzas are good too. I had fried avocados there as well. Have you had those?
Oh yes.
So good. Trey and
Julie.
Julie, that's right. Yeah, they've been amazing.
They are.
They're so much fun.
Oh, and more pizzas at Roma's. They have really good. They have gluten-free pizza too. So does Dominion.
Awesome.
So it's not.
There's so many
it's
things.
Not just greasy spoons. You can come up and get some. Good
for all these great food places that we listened, I assume they should probably go to the chamber website,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, the chamber or the tourism also.
Okay.
Yeah, they will give you all the information.
Great.
Or just hit me up on social media. I'll hook you up.
All right. Awesome. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for your time, and guys, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next episode. Cheers.
This podcast was presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who've been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com and definitely on Instagram at oklahomahof. Catch you next episode. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.